Hey guys, Ralph here from Tempus Performance. Today I want to talk about the ankle inversion injury, one of the most commonly occurring injuries in sports, particularly sports like basketball. This is when you rock over your ankle, whether you're coming down from a rebound or just cutting very heavily on an ankle that's maybe doesn't have the stability or mobility to allow that movement, and lose your balance and roll over your ankle. So just briefly, I want to touch on the anatomy of the lateral ankle and the ligaments that are typically involved. Basically, you've got three ligaments that run down the side of your ankle here. One of them runs to the front, one runs almost straight down, and the other runs just down to the back. And because the tendency is to roll over and then forward, in the majority of cases, this one that runs down the front is the most commonly injured. Now, when it comes to injuries like this, a lot of times people allow the swelling to subside and for the pain to subside and leave these injuries incompletely rehabbed. And this has implications for future performance. There's been relative support in the literature for ankle injuries leading to increased incidence of knee injury as well as instability of the hip. So these are all really good reasons why it's important to have a really robust rehab process. First thing you want to focus on in the days following an ankle injury like this, even while the swelling is still high as it begins to subside, you really want to focus on, as a broad concept, the things that are going to positively impact circulation. So things like gentle unloaded movement, compression, like wrapping your ankle, and then also elevation. And some of these things you'll know from the RICE acronym. Some of the things we don't like about the RICE acronym are things like sort of unnecessary bed rest and ice, which are both things that don't optimize the circulation of nutrients to and also waste away from the injured site. We're just towing the line between applying movement in this area without re-aggravating the injury and potentially causing more injury or inflammation. So things like toe circles, which are as simple as just while sitting or laying, just trying to create a circle with your toes. Another good strategy here, just to keep your mind off things, is to try to do toe alphabet, which is essentially just drawing A, B, C, so on and so forth, all the way through to Z. And then also elevation, of course, as much as you can, trying to keep the ankle high towards or above the level of your chest so that the ankle can more easily have blood circulated through that area. So now I'll show you some wrapping technique to help with wrapping an ankle for compression reasons. So you'll see me here applying relative pressure as I wrap around the foot. Now, this is important because we want more pressure around the foot and a little less as we come up over the ankle, and that helps shunt blood back up towards the heart. You'll also see me there applying some extra tension with that thumb to make sure that as I pass the tape over my injured ankle, I get some extra tension right at the point of the injury as well. And then less as I come up over the top and pin it in place. Okay, so there goes some things that you can do to promote circulation in the immediate aftermath after an inversion ankle injury. Things like unloaded movement, compression using the sports wrap technique that I showed you, and then also working on keeping the ankle elevated as often as you can, and using rest and ice only as necessary to manage pain. In the next video, we're going to have a look at some of the next steps in the process, sort of 1 or 2 weeks out after the injury, looking at loading the ankle and then moving into more integrated or functional movements in a sort of last step before returning to play.